All right, perfect. Well, Ross and Lynette, thanks for taking the time to meet with me and do a quick video testimonial. So, the purpose is just to get a brief overview of, how the process went and what your experience was like. So I'll start with the first question, and that is, can you tell me a little bit about the situation you were in and why you wanted to sell your house?
Sure. I recently retired from the Air Force. We had at one point lived in Maryland and owned a house, and we were renting it out for a while. But now that we are retired and moved to Texas, we wanted to sell our properties and kind of build our retirement home down here. So the search for a realtor began, from a distance from Texas.
Sure. And I know when we first spoke, I think you had either been talking to or even signed up with a Redfin agent, and it sounded like things weren't going well. So can you tell me a little bit?
Didn't sign anything with her.
Okay.
Didn't even get that far.
Right.
Okay.
We had spoken with her on the phone, and she turned into being someone we had a really hard time getting a hold of. And after about 3 weeks of no contact and no callbacks from her, it was time to move on.
Yeah, we actually had about 2 months worth of discussion. We've had some lengthy phone calls and a plan to list the property and research from the comps and when we were going to sell it and that most ideal time to sell it. And we were waiting for our renters to move out, and then just kind of ghosted us. And she didn't respond for 2 or 3 weeks. She never responded. So we had to find another realtor. So we started scouring the internet, looking around.
Sure.
And just through a Google search, we're looking for quick ways to sell our house. And by happenstance, ended up, being transferred to you. And you had mentioned, I forget exactly, the buy is or sell your house as is type of market.
Like buy for cash.
Buy for cash.
Or something.
And you let us know and say, hey, this is not for your house. That's you can put this on the market and get a much better offer. And you let us know that you were also a licensed realtor, and you actually were pretty informative for us, and let us know what the market conditions were. And we decided to go with you.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I mean, we get a lot of calls about people wanting to sell their houses for cash, and we're able to assist people in those situations. But based on everything you had described, it really, selling for cash, you would have left a lot of money on the table. So I'm glad you weren't sort of forced into going that route. So the next question is, you mentioned that you had tenants. What was the condition of the house when the tenants moved out?
We actually had a condition report from when they moved out from our property management. They did a pretty good job of property management. But from when we left the house only like two years ago, or 2.5 years, close to 3 years ago, it wasn't until you had gotten to the property and kind of gave us the assessment of where it was at, and it was kind of shocking to us, and gave us the pictures. And this was after the property management said, hey,
they had went through and wrote up some things, but we didn't really know kind of the scope of everything that needed to be done after the tenants to get it ready to list.
And on top of that, the property management gave us a very lengthy window of when they would get their own contractor out, which was going to be more than 30 to 45 days. And
it was like 3 months.
Oh, 3 months. Yeah, it was something ridiculous. And we obviously couldn't wait that long without tenants, and just paying on the mortgage with no rental income. That was less than ideal. But you had provided us a contractor who gave us the assessments for the repairs, and as well as, getting the property show ready. Really fast, actually. It was in a couple day turnaround. You had us with an estimate, and had the work done within 1 week, which was really impressive. And that was painting, and carpet, the whole brand new carpet, and repairs. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that was-
and I'm glad we were able to, I was surprised. I mean, it was funny because when you said you had tenants and you thought prior to the move out report that it would be in pretty good condition, and I was like, well, I've done this a few times, and typically tenants don't leave it in that good a shape. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but even even houses that are owner occupied and well maintained, we find a lot of times they do need a fresh coat of paint. After a few years, they might need new carpet, and that has a good return on investment for putting it on the market. So glad that we have contractors at our disposal who don't have a 3-month waiting list and can get in right away, get the work done, and capture the fall market. I mean, if you needed to go with that other contractor, you could be looking at going on the market now in December, and not really an ideal time. Plus, of course, the holding costs of just sitting and waiting. So really glad we got them in, and we're able to get on in the heart of the fall market, and get you guys a good deal. So the last question is just, generally speaking, would you recommend our services to friends and family? I know you guys are now in Texas, but if you had friends in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, would you recommend me as a realtor to help them in their situation?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Of course.
We've moved so many times in the military. We've built houses, bought houses, and sold houses pretty much all over the United States. And so we've had a lot of experience with a whole bunch of different realtors. And this sale remotely was very stressful for Lynette and I. And we had a lot of issues come up. We actually had the roach infestation of the property during this, this showing.
Sure.
And I don't know how many times we had to call pest control out there, like 3 times.
Yeah, right.
And then again on the closing day. But the whole time, and every time we called you, you were always responsive, which is not normal with, realtors that we've had before. We always have difficulty getting a hold of them, and communication is key. And you kind of had that in spades, which was really comfortable for us. And also you were very pretty much even tempered when we talked to you on the phone, and it was chaos for us. And you just made it,
just guided us through.
Yeah. It just made it made sure that, like, hey, it's not a big deal, have it solved. This is, what we could expect. And that was just a load, a weight off of our shoulders. And on top of that, even when our buyers, kept on trying to shake us down for more money, you kind of knew exactly, where the market was, and what they could get away with and what they couldn't. And you're like, no, you're not paying that. You don't have to pay that. This is ridiculous. Right. Any other realtor that would go straight and say, hey, the quickest way to the sale, let's not jeopardize it. Just give them what the buyer wants. So we really, really appreciate it. You saved us, thousands of dollars that way, even down to the last minute when they did a closing inspection, and they just wanted to, pin the roaches on on us again.
Sure.
It was great that you were, you played hardball for us when we needed you, and we really, really appreciated that.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm happy. I mean, you've hit on some key points, right? Like communication is key. I think a lot of what I've noticed is a lot of agents who work, a lot of realtors do it kind of as a part-time job, and I'm fortunate that this is my full-time job. So my clients come first. If you ring me, whether it's 9 p.m. or whenever it is, I'm going to be available for you. And negotiation is the other one, right? Like you have to know your position and know when you're in the right and sort of when you're in the wrong, and be fair in that case. And so that's something that it's, you know, it's taken a few years to get to that place, but glad that you guys were able to recognize that and that the sale went smoothly. So, you know, we closed on time. Money hit your account, I think you said the same day, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Hours
So-
actually.
Yeah, really quick.
Yeah, that's, you know, we always say like it's not closed until the money's in your account, but that went well. So, you know, overall, I think pretty smooth transaction. You know, you had some obstacles in your way, but glad we were able to get you know, them resolved quickly and cost effectively, I think. So I'll take this as a moment to again say thank you for, you know, choosing me and allowing me the opportunity to work for you guys. And if you know, any friends, family members, etc., are looking to do any real estate transactions, feel free to pass on my info and stay in touch, because, you know, you never know. You guys might end up, there are a lot of jobs in the DC area, you know, especially former military guys. So if you end up back in the area, would be happy to help as well.
And the Texas market is hot if you decide to move to.
That's right. And you never know, I might head west. So well, thank you guys again for taking the time to do this this Zoom, and I'll be in touch here shortly as a follow-up. But again, if you need anything, you've got my number, feel free to call. If anything comes up, you know how to reach me.
Thank you,
Great.
Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, thanks so much.